Today we're learning to build Lightning McQueen. Now I get it. It's that very red race car with eyes. Do we need to build it step by step? Okay, I think I can do it right. Then let's get started.
Round 1.
I already want to build my own Lightning McQueen. I start with a very simple version of Lightning McQueen using red wool, adding only a few blocks to establish the basic shape. I'm not trying to make the car detailed yet because this first step is more like creating a rough foundation for everything that comes later. Red is an obvious choice because Lightning McQueen's appearance is strongly associated with his bright red body. Starting with such a simple form also gives me a clear base for adding smaller details on top of it. In design, this is similar to blocking out a model before working on its fine details. You first establish the main silhouette and proportions, and only then start worrying about small features. That approach is especially useful here because the final car will contain many tiny elements, and they all need to fit into the shape of the original simple build. Even though the first version looks basic, it gives me the structure I need for the much more detailed version. I then switch from ordinary wool blocks to chiseled bits, which lets me work at a much smaller scale. Instead of treating one Minecraft block as the smallest possible detail, I can divide its surface into many tiny pieces and build almost like a pixel artist. This gives me much more control over curves, outlines, and small shapes that would be impossible to create with regular blocks alone. It is particularly useful for a character like Lightning McQueen because a lot of his identity comes from relatively small visual details rather than from a complicated three-dimensional shape. The basic red body can establish the car's silhouette, but the eyes, wheels, graphics, and facial expression need much finer control. Working with chiseled bits essentially turns the surface of the Minecraft model into a much larger digital canvas. That means I can recreate details that would otherwise look too blocky or disappear completely. I start with the eyes, using white and black wool bits to recreate the simple but recognizable shapes on Lightning McQueen's windshield area. Eyes are especially important when building a character because viewers naturally pay a lot of attention to faces. Even when the rest of the model is relatively simple, correctly placed eyes can make it immediately recognizable as a specific character. The white creates the main visible area, while black provides the darker details and strong contrast needed to define the shape. I have to work carefully because these elements are tiny compared to the whole car. Moving even a small number of bits can change the expression or make the eyes look uneven. This is one of the advantages of pixel-based construction. I can control individual visual points. But it is also one of the disadvantages because every small decision takes time. The chiseled bit technique becomes even more useful when I start working on the wheels at the sides. A normal Minecraft block naturally produces square shapes, while wheels are supposed to appear circular, so creating them requires a different approach. By placing small wool bits in carefully chosen positions, I can approximate a rounded outline using tiny square elements. This is basically the same idea as raster graphics, where a smooth curve is represented by a large number of small pixels. The more carefully those pixels are arranged, the smoother the shape appears from a distance. I am not actually creating a mathematically perfect circle, but I can create the visual impression of one by controlling the pattern. That is why pixel art can look surprisingly detailed, even though its individual components are just tiny squares. The wheels also help define the proportions of the entire car, so their placement is more important than it might seem at first. They provide strong visual anchors on both sides of the body and make the red shape read as a vehicle rather than just a random red structure. I use different wool colors through the chiseled bits to separate the wheel details from the surrounding body. This creates contrast and makes the circular forms easier to recognize. In character and vehicle design, repeated elements are also important because they establish balance. When the wheels appear as a matching pair on opposite sides, the car feels more stable and symmetrical. Even though I am building everything on a tiny pixel scale, the same principles of proportion and visual balance still apply. The wheels have to look like they belong to the same vehicle, not simply like two decorative circles attached afterward. the wheels, I start creating the lightning-shaped graphic along the sides using yellow wool bits. This is a particularly useful detail because the bright yellow creates a strong contrast with the red body. The lightning graphic is not just decoration, it is one of the visual features that helps distinguish Lightning McQueen from an ordinary red race car. Using chiseled bits allows me to reproduce the shape much more accurately because I can adjust its direction and thickness one tiny section at a time. Yellow is also a high contrast choice against red, so the graphic remains visible even when the entire car is viewed from farther away. This is a good example of how color can carry information in character design. You don't always need a complicated shape if the color relationship is strong enough to make the feature immediately noticeable. Creating that lightning pattern takes much longer than simply placing a few yellow blocks because almost every part has to be built pixel by pixel. I need to think about the position of each tiny piece and how it connects with the ones around it so the overall graphic reads as one continuous shape. This is similar to drawing pixel art, where a single misplaced pixel can change the appearance of a line or curve. At the same time, working at this scale gives me a level of precision that ordinary blocks cannot provide. I can make the lightning graphic thinner in some places, wider in others, and adjust its direction without changing the entire structure. The amount of work is much greater, but so is the control over the final image. This is why detailed Minecraft builds can take so much longer than their simple silhouettes suggest. The finished result may look straightforward, but thousands of tiny decisions can be hidden inside it. Finally, I use white wool bits to create Lightning McQueen's smile at the front. The smile is another small detail, but it completely changes the character's expression and makes the car feel more like the animated character, rather than simply a vehicle with a red body. I have to build the shape carefully because a smile is highly dependent on its proportions and position. Too much white in the wrong place could make it look like a random stripe, while the right arrangement can immediately suggest a mouth. This is one of the interesting things about character design. Extremely small changes can have a huge effect on how a viewer interprets an object. By the time I finish the eyes, wheels, lightning graphic, and smile, the simple red foundation has been transformed through dozens of tiny visual decisions. The amount of time required comes from the fact that I am creating almost everything pixel by pixel. But that precision is what allows the final Lightning McQueen to have recognizable details instead of just the general shape of a red car. Phew, that took so much effort. Great, my Lightning McQueen is ready.
What? Is it time to build already? Has Mikey already run off? It seems I overslept a bit. Has he already built something? Okay. Hey, Mikey, what have you built already?
While you were busy dozing off, I already managed to build a real Lightning McQueen.
Wow, it looks pretty good. Now, I definitely have to build my own version that's better than yours.
Don't make me laugh. You're nowhere near my level yet.
Oh, really? Then I'll just have to show you what I'm capable of.
Good luck. I think you'll need it.
Thanks, then I'm starting. Round 2. I build my Lightning McQueen primarily from red concrete, using the material across the main body to recreate the strong red color that is so closely associated with the character. I focus on making the overall shape resemble a racing car rather than simply creating a rectangular red vehicle. McQueen has a long, low body and a fairly streamlined silhouette, which helps him look fast, even when he is standing still. His design was inspired by several types of real racing cars, especially American stock cars, but Pixar gave him exaggerated proportions so that he could still look expressive and recognizable as a character. That combination is what makes his appearance interesting. He has enough features of a real race car to feel believable, but his proportions are simplified enough to work as an animated character. I want to preserve that balance in my build, so the red concrete establishes the main volume while the smaller details will later make it unmistakably McQueen. I also use red terracotta slabs to create the lower part of the car, making the underside thinner than the main body. This helps give the vehicle a low stance, which is one of the visual features that makes a racing car look fast and aggressive. In real motorsport, the distance between the car and the ground is much more than a question of appearance. The height of the body affects airflow underneath the vehicle, and aerodynamic engineers carefully control that space to generate downforce and improve stability. A lower car can also give designers more control over how air moves around the body, although the exact effect depends on the shape of the entire vehicle. My Minecraft build obviously does not need to deal with real aerodynamic forces, but using slabs still lets me imitate the visual result. The thinner lower section makes the body appear closer to the ground and gives the whole car a more convincing racing profile. At the front, I build McQueen's eyes from white and black concrete, which immediately changes the structure from looking like an ordinary car into looking like the character from Cars. The eyes are one of the most unusual parts of the movie's vehicle design because they are positioned where we would normally expect the windshield to be. Pixar used this idea to solve a difficult character design problem. The characters had to remain recognizable as cars while still being able to show emotions and interact like people. Instead of giving them human faces, the filmmakers made the windshield area function as a face. McQueen's eyes can move and change direction, allowing the audience to understand what he is thinking without adding human anatomy to the car. In my version, the white and black concrete is enough to create that same visual cue. Once the eyes are there, the front of the build stops looking like a simple racing vehicle and starts reading as Lightning McQueen himself. For the sides, I use gray concrete to represent the windows, while black concrete forms the wheels. These materials give the car some important visual separation because the red body would otherwise dominate almost the entire model. The wheels are especially useful for defining the proportions of the vehicle. They establish where the body sits relative to the ground and make the long red shape immediately readable as a car. In actual racing, tires are among the most important components because they are the only parts of the vehicle directly touching the track. Their grip affects acceleration, braking, and cornering. So racing teams spend enormous amounts of time selecting and developing the right tires. The movie also makes the connection between McQueen and racing culture very clear through his sponsor, Rusty's, and the various markings associated with his racing career. Even though my Minecraft wheels are much simpler than real racing tires, they still provide the essential visual cue that connects the rest of the structure to a race car. I finished the main exterior shape by adding a spoiler at the back using red concrete stairs and oak trapdoors. A spoiler is not just a decoration on a racing car. Its shape can influence the airflow around the vehicle and, when designed to generate downforce, help keep the car more firmly connected to the track at high speeds. The trade-off is that aerodynamic parts can also create additional drag. So real race cars have to balance stability and speed very carefully. That makes the spoiler a fitting detail for McQueen because it immediately communicates that he is designed as a performance vehicle rather than an ordinary road car. The red concrete stairs let me create the main angled form, while the oak trapdoors give me thinner elements that would be difficult to represent with full blocks. With the body, eyes, windows, wheels, and spoiler established, the overall silhouette is already recognizable as McQueen. But the smaller markings and surface details are what will really finish the resemblance. I move on to chiseled bit because the basic concrete structure is not precise enough for some of the details I want to add. This lets me work with tiny individual pixels instead of being limited to the size of a normal Minecraft block. One of the first details I create is the number 95 on the sides using yellow concrete pixels. That number is one of Lightning McQueen's most recognizable markings, so it immediately makes the connection to the character much stronger. It is also a small piece of Pixar history. The number 95 is commonly understood as a reference to 1995, the year Toy Story was released and Pixar's first feature-length animated film reached theaters. So the number is not just part of McQueen's racing identity, it also acts as a subtle reference to the studio that created him. I like details like this because they can look like simple decoration while actually having another meaning for people who know the character. I build the 95 from yellow concrete pixels because the color needs to stand out clearly against McQueen's red body. Yellow and red are both strong, saturated colors, but their contrast makes the number easy to notice from the side. The chiseled bit technique also gives me much more control over the shape of each digit. With regular blocks, the numbers would have to be much larger, and their proportions could easily become too heavy for the car. Individual pixels let me make the lines thinner and reproduce the shape at a scale that fits the body much better. This is essentially pixel art applied to a three-dimensional Minecraft model. Instead of drawing on a flat screen, I am building the image directly onto the surface of the car, which means every tiny piece has to work with the shape underneath it. That is what makes this kind of detailing so time-consuming, even when the finished marking looks simple. The number also has to follow the proportions of the body, instead of looking like it was simply placed on top of it. I use the small yellow pieces to keep the digits compact and readable while maintaining enough space around them for the red body to remain visible. This is similar to how racing liveries are designed in real life. A race car can contain many sponsor logos, numbers, stripes, and other graphics, but those elements still have to remain legible when the vehicle is moving quickly. McQueen's number 95 is particularly effective because it is large enough to become part of his silhouette and visual identity without completely covering the red body. In the movie, it is one of the first details viewers can use to identify him from other cars. Recreating it with chiseled bits gives my model that same immediate recognition while keeping the proportions of the original build intact. While working with the tiny pieces, I also use red inserts to cover uneven areas and clean up transitions across the body. The chiseled bit details can make small irregularities much more visible because the eye starts focusing on individual pixels rather than seeing the entire surface as one simple shape. Matching those areas with red pieces helps the body look more continuous and keeps the yellow number from appearing disconnected from the car. This is particularly important for McQueen because his exterior is supposed to look like one painted racing body, rather than a collection of separate panels made from unrelated materials. In an actual car, the body panels, paint, and graphics are carefully integrated into the overall surface. I am creating a similar visual effect here with much simpler tools. The red inserts essentially act as small corrections that allow the detailed markings to sit naturally within the larger concrete structure. I then move toward the rear and create the taillights from glowing dust. I use a luminous material because it gives the lights an appearance that ordinary blocks cannot reproduce as well. Real rear lights are important functional components of a vehicle because they communicate information to other drivers, including the car's presence, position, and braking. Their bright red light is specifically designed to remain visible in conditions where the rest of the vehicle may be harder to see. McQueen is an animated race car, so his lights are also part of the visual language that tells us he is a functioning vehicle rather than simply a sculpture shaped like one. Using glowing dust in Minecraft gives me a way to suggest that same luminous quality. The small, bright areas can stand out strongly against the darker parts of the rear, making the back of the car easier to recognize. I think I should build another Lightning McQueen with a command, because I am not giving Mikey the chance to laugh at my tiny handmade version. My detailed build took a lot of work, but the difference in scale is still pretty obvious next to the enormous construction I can create with commands. This time, I can make a much larger and more accurate copy of McQueen while keeping all of his recognizable shapes and details. Once the giant version is finished, I can finally enjoy the result without worrying about my smaller build being compared to it. And honestly, seeing such a huge and accurate Lightning McQueen from the movie is much more satisfying. Great, my Lightning McQueen is ready. Time to show it to Mikey.
Wow, JJ, I have to admit, your Lightning McQueen looks amazing. You really are a better builder than me.
Thank you, Mikey. I am very glad that you like my building. Well, I think it's time for us to finish.
Yes, JJ, you're right.
Subscribe and like. Bye-bye.
Wow, that's such a cool idea to build. Why didn't I figure it out myself? Let's learn how to build a ramp.
Round 1.
Today, I am building a ramp for riding, and I will use special boost blocks from the mod. There are several types, and each does its own thing. There is Boost Pad, a flat block that speeds you up when you ride over it. There is Boost Ramp. It is angled and speeds you up while lifting you at the same time. And Steep Boost Ramp is a very steep version for high jumps. As a base for the inclines, I use regular dirt. Dirt is a good material because there is lots of it everywhere and it places easily. I make the ramp shape from dirt, hills, and slopes of different heights. On top of the dirt, I place boost blocks to make a working ramp. When you ride on this construction, it speeds you up and launches you upward. Simple idea, but it works well. Phew! It took so much effort. Great! My ramp is ready.
What? Hello?
Hey, Banana Kid, look! I built it. Do you like?
No.
What? Haven't you had time to feel the adrenaline?
Oh.
It seemed to me that I had built a large enough ramp. It's a pity, but I tried so hard. Maybe then you'll try to build a better ramp yourself?
Yay!
They ran to the place. This is where your building will be. Are you ready?
Yahoo!
Then go ahead.
Round 2.
Banana Kid starts building his ramp, and first thing he lays out the horizontal section from boost blocks. This will be the acceleration strip before the main climb. Very smart move because without pre-acceleration, you cannot build enough speed for a steep climb. Physics here is simple. The more speed on entry, the higher you can climb. Horizontal boost blocks work as accelerators on flat surface. When you drive over them, they push you forward and speed increases. Banana Kid made this section long enough to build up good speed. Without such an acceleration strip, you would have to start moving from far away. But this way, everything is compact and convenient in one construction. Now, Banana Kid takes stone and starts building a steep incline. Stone is a strong material that works well for load-bearing structures. He places blocks in steps, each row higher than the previous, creating a slope at a steep angle. Stone can handle any load and will not break. This is the foundation of the whole ramp. On top of the stone frame, Banana Kid lays the ramp blocks from the mod. Stone serves as the structural base, while boost blocks on top create the sliding accelerating surface. This separation of functions is good engineering approach. The base handles strength, the covering handles functionality. Banana Kid places stone fence along the edges at the top of the ramp. Stone fences work as safety barriers. At high speed, it is easy to fly off the track sideways, and the barriers prevent this from happening. This is an important element of any ramp. Without barriers, riding is dangerous. On the side, he adds a ladder for climbing to the top on foot. The ladder is needed to get up there without transport. Sometimes you just want to look at the construction from above or fix something. A practical solution that makes the ramp more convenient to use. On the stone fence, Banana Kid places torches. Torches provide lighting for riding in the dark. Without light at night, you cannot see anything and might crash into something. Plus, the flames look nice and create atmosphere. Lighting is both safety and decor at the same time. Now, Banana Kid takes out a box and unpacks a motorcycle from it. This is transport from the mod that is perfect for ramps and tricks. The motorcycle is fast and maneuverable. Banana Kid gets on it and approaches the start of the acceleration strip, ready to test his build. Banana Kid starts and builds speed on the horizontal section. Boost blocks accelerate the motorcycle, and it flies onto the climb. The ramp functions great. Banana Kid is clearly happy with the result.
Ta-da! Yay!
Where did everyone run off to? Hey guys, what's all that noise?
Banana Kid and I are building a ramp, JJ. Who did it better?
Oh, both of your buildings look great, but I think it's up to the audience to decide who did the best.
Yes, JJ, you're right. Maybe then you have comments on the construction of Banana Kid? I enjoyed going down the hill.
Yes, there are a couple of comments. It seems to me that this building is too small to fully reveal the beauty of skiing on the ramp.
I totally agree with you, JJ. Maybe you will build a ramp?
Okay, then let's run to the place as soon as possible.
JJ, good luck to you. We'll wait in the house.
That's it?
Thanks, guys. Then I'm starting. Round 3. Today, I will be building a ramp, and this will be a serious construction using advanced techniques. For the base, I choose gray concrete, one of the best materials for projects like this. Gray concrete has a smooth texture, neutral color, and looks modern, like real concrete structures in the real world. Gray concrete is also a very strong-looking block. When you look at a build made from concrete, it looks solid and reliable. This is important for a ramp because psychologically, you want to feel that the structure under you will not fall apart. Concrete creates exactly that feeling of stability and safety. I start laying out the basic ramp shape from gray concrete. I make an angled surface with a gradual incline. The angle of incline is important. Too gentle a slope will not give enough height. Too steep will be hard to climb, even at speed. Need to find balance between these extremes for optimal results. On top of the concrete base, I lay boost blocks from the mod. These special blocks create acceleration when a vehicle drives over them. The combination of a sturdy concrete base and functional boost blocks on top is the right approach to building. Each layer performs its task, and together, they work efficiently. The basic part of the ramp is done, but I want to make something more impressive. I pause for a moment and think through my plan. Building a very tall ramp by hand would take a lot of time, and the result might turn out uneven. So I decide to use commands to speed up the process and ensure accuracy. Commands in Minecraft are a powerful tool for builders. They allow you to copy, paste, move, and modify large areas of blocks instantly. Professional builders often use commands for repeating elements. This is not cheating. This is efficient use of available tools. First, I copy the part of the ramp I already built by hand. The clone command saves the selected area to memory and allows pasting it somewhere else. It is like copying text in a document, only with blocks in three-dimensional space. Very convenient function for large-scale projects. Now, I paste the copied section above, continuing the ramp upward. Each new section perfectly matches the previous one because it is an exact copy. I paste again and again and again. The ramp grows upward with each paste, getting higher and higher. This is much faster than placing each block by hand. I continue adding sections until the ramp reaches an impressive height. Looking up from below, I see it going high into the sky. Building such a structure by hand would take a very long time, but with commands, it took just a few minutes. And each section is identical, no mistakes or unevenness. Now, I need to add decorative and functional elements. Along the edges of the climb, I start placing netherrack blocks. Netherrack is a special material from the nether, and it has a unique property. When you set netherrack on fire, the fire burns forever on it. never going out. This is perfect for creating fire effects. I place netherrack blocks along the entire length of the climb on both sides. They will serve as the base for fiery barriers. This is not only beautiful, but also functional. Fire on the sides lights up the track and creates a dramatic effect while riding. Imagine how this looks at night. A fire corridor going up into the sky. Netherrack is easy to mine in the Nether. There are huge amounts of it there. It is the main block that makes up the Nether dimension landscape. In the regular world, Netherrack looks exotic and immediately attracts attention with its reddish texture. Perfect choice for creating a fire theme. All netherrack blocks are in place. Now time to light them up. I take out flint and steel, the tool for starting fires. I approach the first block and click the lighter. Fire bursts up and starts burning on the netherrack surface. I move to the next block and light it too. I continue lighting each netherrack block one by one. This takes time because there are many blocks, but the result is worth it. Fire spreads along the entire length of the ramp, creating two fiery lines along the sides of the climb. The flames dance and flicker, giving the construction a living, dynamic look. With each lit block, the ramp transforms. What was just a gray concrete construction now becomes a fiery track. The contrast between cold gray concrete and hot orange flames creates an impressive visual effect. This is an example of how decor can completely change the perception of a build. All netherrack blocks are lit, and the ramp is now fully illuminated by fire. I look at the result and see a fiery road going high up. This looks epic and a bit intimidating, like a portal to a fire dimension. This is exactly the effect I was going for when planning this construction. I go down to the base of the ramp. Here, I need to work on the starting part of the climb a bit more. I add additional boost blocks to ensure good acceleration before the main climb. Without enough starting speed, you cannot climb to such a height. Physics will not allow it. I also add netherrack blocks at the bottom and light them too. The fire theme should be continuous from start to finish of the ramp. The ramp is almost ready, just need to test it. I open a box and take out a car. I get in the car and drive to the start of the ramp. Ahead of me is a fiery corridor going up. I press the gas and start accelerating. Boost blocks do their job. Speed increases very quickly. The car flies onto the climb and starts going up between walls of fire. I climb higher and higher, fire flickering on the sides. Speed is enough to overcome the entire climb. I reach the very top and look down. The height is impressive. The ground far below looks small. The ramp works exactly as I planned. The climb turned out steep but manageable. I look around from the height and notice a small problem. Under the ramp, some dirt islands accidentally appeared. This happened during command use. Sometimes this happens when working with large areas. These islands spoil the look of the construction and need to be removed. I go down and start dealing with this problem. Removing the islands by hand would take long, so I use commands again. I select the area where the extra blocks are and use the fill command with air parameter. This replaces all blocks in the selected area with air, essentially deleting them. The islands disappear one by one. Commands again show their efficiency. What would take minutes by hand is done in seconds. The space under the ramp is now clean, no extra blocks. The construction looks neat and professional, as it should. My fire ramp is fully complete. This is a tall construction made of gray concrete with boost blocks for acceleration and netherrack barriers engulfed in eternal flames. Using commands allowed creating impressive height in a short time. Great, my ramp is ready. It's time for me to show it to the guys.
Wow, JJ, you've got an incredibly big ramp. Let's go for a ride soon.
Come on, sit down with me.
Juhu! It's so much fun, JJ. You're so good.
Thank you guys. I am very glad that you liked my building. Friends, be sure to write in the comments whose building you liked the most. Well, I think it's time for us to finish.
Yes, JJ, you're right.
Subscribe and like. Bye-bye.